My parents lost it all. My dad spent his whole life working and saving. I remember the first time I had my first six-figure month. I called my dad. He didn't ask me, what did you do? He didn't ask me, how much did you make? He just asked me, are you happy?
Interesting.
You had these communities of people that were willing to fight and die for the projects they supported on X, while I was here trying to make people care enough to buy a $19 product.
Yeah.
And then I realized that NFTs and crypto created a new layer of ownership that allowed people to all of a sudden not just consume, but own a part of the brand. The example of my brother, very ambitious, took all his savings, took out a credit card loan and put that all in crypto. And I remember the day he came to me and he was like, bro, remember that thing you told me not to do? Well, I did it, bro, and I lost it all.
Who were you before all this, before crypto, before influence, before your name meant something?
Who was I before this? I think like most people, before doing anything meaningful, I was a nobody.
Yeah.
My journey can be summed up 2015 to 2022. I was in the whole, trying to figure out the whole internet marketing game.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I started trying different stuff, drop shipping. I was big on the Instagram theme page world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I built out a couple.
Did you do shout outs and all those types of things?
I did the shout outs.
Okay.
I tried to sell products, all of that. But it wasn't really clicking. It was, an entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
It doesn't work until it does. And what happened in that time, man, I was like just fucking around. I was still young. I was between like 23-year-old. And then something happened where my parents lost it all. The Lebanese, so I'm from Lebanon, born and raised in Lebanon. My dad spent his whole life working and saving to put money aside in Lebanon.
It's pretty, there's a lot of correct me if I'm wrong, there's a lot of war stuff kind of going on over there right now?
A lot of political instability.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of political. So I was just in Lebanon 2 weeks ago.
I know a couple Lebanese people and that's what it seems like.
It's fascinating. I was just in Lebanon 2 weeks ago visiting family. And it's hard to describe the feeling of being in your home country, being in your country house, and then seeing foreign drones on top of your head. Like actual, the military drones. And you would just hear it bzzz, all day long.
From who's sending those usually?
Israel drones on top of just,
Yeah, and that topic alone, I don't know enough to be educated, but it just always seems like Israel's got a problem with somebody. I mean... without because I don't know enough to say something educated, but I'm like, bro, it just seems like there's always people are always mad at Israel for something, and then I know that it's an ally of the U.S., so I don't know if I'm you never, for me, I'm very I always am like, okay, what's the actual truth? And people go down these rabbit holes, and so I'm always like, is Israel in the right or is it in the wrong? But it's also feels like it's been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years.
But it's only in movies where you have the good guy and the bad guy.
Yeah.
It's only in movies where it's black and white.
It's probably gray a little bit.
Truth is always gray. Who's the good guy? Who was the good guy in World War II and who was the bad guy?
Yeah, probably nobody.
It's oftentimes the winner that ends up writing.
Yeah, they write. They're like, yeah, we were the good guys.
They write history. Exactly. They write history. And I mean, it's something to be on the side where it's the country that is the weaker guy. Mm-hmm. But this all, in my case, forces you to become someone that if you grew up in a dysfunctional country, you have to find a way to take care of yourself. Mm-hmm. My parents spent their whole life putting money aside, saving for retirement. And then in 2021, the whole banking economy collapsed in Lebanon. Everyone, whether you had $10 in your bank account or $10 million, you're still locked out of your bank until today. So I found myself, I was just freshly graduated from university and I've been, just playing around entrepreneurship for making a bit of money here, pivoting, thinking the grass is greener on the other side. And then I was like, okay, no, I got to figure this out because now I'm fighting for someone. Mm-hmm. I'm fighting for my parents. Mm-hmm. And that's how I got into the whole crypto world. Right after that.
Well, so what made you think to go into crypto though? What was out of all the things you could have done, it's why did you park there?
Totally. So you've built online audiences.
Yeah.
I have too. And one of the hardest things that every community builder lives through is making your community give a shit about you. One thing I did, I remember I built a community to 1 million followers. Millions and millions and millions of weekly impressions that I would get on these theme pages. And what I did, I had the idea of creating a product. It was a productivity notebook during COVID. I was like, everyone's locked at home. People need a way to focus outside of their gadgets. True. So I ordered 3,000 notebooks. I was in Montreal back then, and I ordered 3,000 notebooks, traveled to Toronto, shipped them, ordered a truck, shipped them back. And I have this picture of me like with the boxes of products. And then comes launch day. I do the whole pre-launch marketing, and then I launch. And then I sit there looking at my Shopify, and I see 300 people on the website. I'm like, okay, good. This is like going somewhere. And then a minute in, no orders. Then another minute in, I'm like, no orders. I'm like, what's happening? Is my website broken? So I like try to place an order on my own website, and to my nightmare, it goes through. So the website was working.
Yeah, and that's like it's like good and bad because it goes through, but you're like, nobody's buying.
No one's buying. And what I realized is that I built a community of people that were just here for the free content, that were here for the entertainment, but they didn't really care about what I did, what I could sell to them.
Is that because the theme page is just for the listeners? Like when you think of a theme page, there's no face. And so the type of content was just kind of like, was it all over the place type deal?
It is. It was very surface level entertainment / it was edutainment. But it wasn't solving, people weren't bought into Leon. They weren't bought into a person. They weren't bought into a transformation as well. They were just bought into the education that would come, because I was in the tech niche. This is where I would build my pages.
When you say tech, like what type of stuff would you post?
Engineering, cool facts, cool videos of like physics, because I studied engineering.
Oh, did you? What type?
I studied civil.
See, I did petroleum. Yeah.
Oh, you did petroleum.
Yeah, that's why I'm so analytical and I'm so logical, because that world is just like, no, but 2 + 2 is 4, and that's it.
Exactly. Like, yeah. So, and around that time, the whole conversation around NFTs and crypto started happening in 2021. So as I was documenting, because I would be talking about NFTs and crypto and all of this, I would find myself landing on X to find resources, to find the references for the posts that I would be making. And then I noticed something that I'd never seen before, that I never experienced before. You had these communities of people that were willing to fight and die for the projects they supported on X, on Twitter, while I was here trying to make people care enough to buy a $19 product.
Yeah.
And then I realized that NFTs and crypto created a new layer of ownership that allowed people to all of a sudden not just consume, but own a part of the brand. And when I saw this as someone who understood community building, I was personally passionate about it. I was like, this is the natural evolution of me going into that space. And today, man, we help with my company, we help companies build their footprint in crypto.
Explain that a bit. Like when you say build a company's footprint in crypto, like what does that look like?
So I'll give you an example. Forbes, the magazine, they had an experimental department and they wanted to launch an NFT community. So it's a NFTs that gets certain, they have a blockchain side of their website that you can only connect and access that part of the website using like blockchain wallet and all of that. They wanted to get known in the crypto space. So what we did is we helped them build a community, and they ended up raising a couple $1 million just by going in that space and trying it out. We've worked with Brave, one of Google Chrome's competitors, for example. Karate Combat. Are you into UFC?
Yeah. Enough. Like I'm not like super, but it's like if you mention some of the top guys, stuff like that, I'll probably know. Yeah.
So Karate Combat is interesting because it's a fighting league. Yeah. And what you have attached to it is a token. There's a crypto token. And what they do is they reward fans for engaging. So I'd say you're one of the most vocal supporters of UFC. You're the type of person that's going to go on Reddit and is going to post about your analysis of fights. You're going to wager points on, here's who's going to win this evening by how much. traditionally you have fans, but how do you really know who's your super fan and how do you reward these people?
Yeah.
That's what crypto allows you to do. So all of a sudden you can start rewarding your community member. Imagine that one person that's been watching all your videos, that sends all your videos, Tanner, to his friends group, that comments on every one of your posts. How do you reward the super fan? It's impossible with today's tech stack that we have as marketers. But crypto allows a way to reward our super fans, to reward our super users.
Why, like for anyone who's going to say, like, I'm assuming someone would say this, why not just $1 USD? Like, why just not give them cash? Couldn't you make that argument? Like, why crypto instead of maybe cash?
So you were just with your family last week.
Yeah.
Imagine your parents invited you over for dinner, and what you would usually do as a good son, you would go in and you would bring a dessert with you or flowers or whatever. You would bring
now that I've been to Dubai, probably.
Yeah, 100%.
Hospitality is crazy.
But imagine at the end of the dinner, you're like, Mom, this was a beautiful dinner. Is $300 fine to cover for me and the boys?
Yeah.
That's borderline, like you'd get kicked out of the house.
Yeah.
And the reason I say this is I read this in a great book called Alchemy. Yeah. There's two worlds that we live in as humans. There's the social norms world, and then there's the market norms. What we do when we do things, the way you do it with friends, what you do with family, with loved ones, is different than what you would do, the way you would behave when it comes to market norms. Your super fans are not supporting you because there is money incentives. The moment you start introducing money incentives to your community, you all of a sudden transition into a more transactional, free market capitalist type of relationship with your audience. The nice thing about tokens is that it has the monetary value, but it's still speculative to the sense where they own a part of me. They own a part of the business. They're a shareholder in the business now. So they become more incentivized to fight and become more inclined to represent the thing they already were doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I'm just thinking, I'm thinking someone's probably made that argument before. So I at least wanted to see your stance on it. That makes sense. Okay. So, walk us through maybe your first win in crypto. So you shifted to crypto.
Yep.
What would you say is like your first win? Right. And then, do you think it was like timing, luck, like skill? Like,
totally.
Sometimes we just fall into stuff.
Totally. I would say, man, it was starting to build a personal brand. It's fascinating, bro, how in my industry, there's no one, the concept of personal brand is almost non-existent. So I came in and I started creating Web3 marketing content around my niche on YouTube. And back then, no one was doing it. And I remember, man, I put a landing page on ClickFunnels up in like 30 minutes. I put it up at the bottom. There's like a Calendly embeds. And I filmed my first YouTube video. It was a case study. I filmed it on my webcam with the computer audio. Like, the most crazy setup you can imagine. And then I go to the gym. Bro, I kid you not. During the gym session, I refresh my Gmail and I see a new meeting getting created. I was like, there's no way. I got a call booked on my calendar 2 days after posting my first video.
Wow. And you probably just had like a link in under the video, right?
Just during the video. It was as simple as this. And this is how crypto runs. There's no the concept of, for example, you were made on paid ads. Right. For example, you did a lot of cold and warm outbound, a lot of DMing. Crypto is built on reputation in a way. And the concept of paid marketing does not exist.
Yeah.
So for me, breaking...
Well, it's not allowed, right? I mean, usually
it's not allowed.
It's hard to do it. Yeah.
It's not allowed. And there's no... For ads to make sense, you need the prospect to take action on the ad. Yeah. We don't have a culture in crypto where you click on ad. Like I've never seen an ad for a crypto product and click to buy.
Yeah.
Part of it is because the industry's reputation is shit through the scams. And so like you don't click on anything you see.
Yeah.
So a lot of it, man, is built on trust. It's built on word of mouth. And this has literally been, man, the same strategy that I've been using for the last 3 years to build a business. Today, 90% of our business is warm inbound.
Really?
Warm inbound, yeah. And we have some cold outbound as well.
So how did you build that reputation? So again, I know you said kind of what you do, but how do you keep a good reputation per se?
Yeah.
Right. So for example, I've done a lot of consulting. One of the hardest things in consulting is like you get a 1 and a 10 in skill, right? So you get Michael Jordan and you get a fifth grader. It's like Michael Jordan, obviously, no matter what you do, he's going to win. And then you get the fifth grader and it's like, it's almost nearly impossible. The fifth grader hates you. Michael Jordan loves you. So in crypto, have you found a way, and I don't know if this is what you've done. It's like the 1 and the 10 get the same result. Cause like if you can find a way to do it, that's where businesses can blow up. That's where, in my opinion, like even now that I have other portfolio companies and stuff like that, the reason they do so well is I just noticed it's like they make it so every person gets the same result. And when everyone gets the same result, you just get that word of mouth that builds up versus, oh, this person likes you, this person hates you, this person likes you, this person hates you. And then it's always a little bit of like, it kind of churn and burn style.
But let me ask you then, is it ever possible to deliver the same results to a 10 and a 1?
Not depending on the industry. So I've interviewed, I want to say 40 people, like between either contacts or paying money, a lot of money. And most of the people, like they'd sold their company from 40 million to 4 billion, like actually sold. And the theme I found it was interesting. First, most of them had internet marketing background.
Yep.
So that was interesting to me because it's like, okay, they understand how to run a business. There's a lot of people with great ideas. They don't understand operations. So internet marketing background. And then they were either in private equity, usually. So they buy good businesses and roll them up. Tech. Right. So tech is like, when I think of tech, it's like Uber. It's like an idiot and a smart person get the same result. And then finally it was private equity, tech, and then hedge funds. So if you think of a hedge fund, if we all put our money in, everyone gets 10%, they get the same result. So I started to learn the key is how to pick a business where the dumbest person gets the result as the same person because it scales. And then like the word of mouth spreads and you don't have to run ads as much. So if you look at consulting or even any online business really, the reason, in my opinion, I usually tell people the limit is 2 million a month, usually, right? So at 2 million a month, the reason that's the limit is because obviously you have costs and ads and stuff like that, but it's because not everyone gets the same result. And if you think about consulting, unless you run the business for them, some people they're not good at sales or they're not good at ads or they're not good on camera and they can get better. But when you think of team sports or like, in high school or not high school, I would say like junior high, you're like, team captains. And when you picked a player, you pick the best player. Yeah. And the reason you pick the best player is because without coaching him or telling him, he's already like really good. Yeah. So I think going back to what you said in crypto, that's why I was curious. Like, I don't know, based on what you do, if kind of all your clients get the same result, right? Yeah. And if they do, that's the types of businesses that scale. And, if you even think about like, there's also some guys I did talk to who sold products. I'm more of a service guy because I like the fact like, hey, you don't have like this intangible cost. But if you think of like Quest Nutrition, it sold for $1 billion, it's a protein bar. Like everyone gets the same thing. So any business and people go, well, I'm gonna do done for you service. I'm like, yeah, but now your costs are through the roof. Like, so if you do done for you ads, for example, and then on top of that, there's so many other aspects of the business. It's like, it's not just running ads. It's the call, it's the emails, it's the text. And like this client's not very good. So anyways, that's my take on it. And
out of these three, so you mentioned hedge fund, you mentioned tech and private equity. Yeah. Which one would you say is the most for a marketer? Yeah. Someone with a digital marketing background. Which one is the most logical next step?
Probably private equity because so I'm doing all three ironically. So here's kind of what happened over time with my like eliteCEOs.com. I got to 2 million a month and then I wanted to break that and I could never break it. And I thought something was wrong with me, but then I saw like Sam Evans, Alex Hormozi, Alex Becker, they were all leaving. I'm like, okay, like if these guys are all super smart, super intelligent and they're leaving, why? And then that's what led me down these interviews. And I was like, that's why. So with what I did to start is I started my best clients who performed. I started saying, hey, can I take equity in the company? So right now I had up to 5 portfolios, but I got rid of them very quickly. So I have 2 right now. And the 2 I have are great CEOs, very unique offers. And so when we run ads, they'll get 25x return, 15x return, like returns like in consulting, it's very red ocean. Like it's, hey, I'll help you make money, whatever. You get that. Yeah. So that's been really great. And then ironically, one of my portfolio companies, the guy has day trading experience, hedge funds experience. So we're going to start a hedge fund in December, but I'm just going to my job's like bring leads and stuff. He's going to run it. And then I also have invested in a couple tech companies. I want to start a tech company. The next tech company that is supposed to be done like any day now, because we've been working on it for a year and a half. It has to work. But in theory, the biggest issue my clients have is DMs sales, right? So I'm like, okay, if I can, what I did is I looked at my top clients, looked at their profession. I said, let's make a sales bot just for them. And the reason I did that is because with AI coming out, I don't want to compete against everybody. So in theory, if I could go to someone like you and I said, hey, this will do all your setting. It'll be better than your setters, no management, no fees, nowhere, and it's cheaper. So let's say an average setter is $2,000 a month for $1,500. Then it's not hard to sell. And then it's like on top of that, 30-day money back guarantee, refund any, like, there's no risk. So anyways, I know that's a little bit more than you asked, but I think for most people in this space, all private equity means is you're now taking equity in a company and you're helping scale it. And so if you're good at actually scaling companies, that even like Hormozy, that's where he went, makes logical sense. Alex Becker and Sam went into tech. Hedge funds, you have to really understand investing. Right. So I love investing, but man, if you're in a hedge fund, you got to be really good, I would say, at spotting deals and then making sure those deals perform. Because the one downside, probably in your industry, you experience it too, is because it's so trust-based, you make one bad call, you can lose all that trust and then all those people are gone.
Yeah.
Right. So it's I would say like that stuff is a little bit more risky because investing, it's like, hey, you said 10% return. I didn't get 10% return. Even if it's not your fault, they'll go somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you're accountable to other people as well.
Yeah. So. And when you take people's money,
they become the boss.
You just and it's also, I've just seen some people that have gone to prison, and it's like once you take someone's money and you do anything, you deviate at all, you are screwed. Like, and even if you get away with it, like the rest of your life, people won't trust you. So you just got to make sure. I think the big part there is if you do the hedge fund route, you got to have a lot of integrity. Things can go wrong, and that's fine, but you disclose everything. I mean, you have to disclose everything. So obviously I'm like dabbling, like I'm getting into these things, but the reason I'm getting into it is I just realized, okay, it's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with me. And it took me 2 years to realize that, because I've scaled. And so I was putting in probably 300% more effort for 10% more profit. I was like, dude, this is a dead end. And so I started like thinking like, what am I missing? And I started seeing all these other guys. I'm like, dude, it's always different vehicles. So one of my clients, who's a portfolio company, she's brand new. She had a horrible funnel, all this stuff. We just make a basic funnel. And her offer is so good. And like, she's never ran ads before. 5K makes 150K. I'm like, dude, we'll do $1 million a month in 6 months. And it's like, people go, well, what's different? I'm like, it's like the offer, right? Even when Hormozy made that book, $100 million offers, it's just like, that is the key, because you can suck more at sales. There's more urgency built in. There's more scarcity. People want what you're selling. And so it's not hard to sell. Like if I say, hey, I could have a setter that will do as good as me, right? So if people know me, they know I'm good at sales. If it can do better than me or as good, and you don't have to manage it, would you want that? Who's going to be like, no? They're like, it's just will it actually do it? If it can, people will buy it. But when you're consulting, like, hey, I'll help you build your business. Are you going to do it? Yeah. No, I'll just tell you what to do. It's not really that enticing. It's not as enticing as it can be. And you can't really make it more enticing unless you build a company. But if then you build their company, like someone's like, hey, you run my company. Bro, I would need 500% of zero, which is zero.
let me ask this, and I'm gonna push back just because I'm curious myself.
For sure.
I'm curious myself. So you've spoken about this on a recent podcast. Yeah, you gave the example of Gary Vee with VaynerMedia.
Yeah.
How you started like just basic marketing services, but then the way he was able to scale into a multi 9-figure business per year is by going enterprise level.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
So for you, the hedge fund route and the tech route, these are all new business models that come with new unknown unknowns.
Sure. Yeah.
And Hormozy talks about the more, better, new framework.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say it would have been easier for you to crack the ceiling that you had, that 2 million per month, break that versus trying to reinvent a new business model that, you're a new fish if you are going to go in the private equity route, for example. It's not like it's also a blue ocean. It is a red ocean in and of itself. Yeah. So what was the thinking process? I'm personally curious.
It's a great question. So at 2 million a month, I have like 100 staff. So that's a huge cost. Ads, huge cost. And so what happens is you're making more revenue, but you're making less profit. So then what do? You go back and you try to optimize, but I've optimized to oblivion. I'm like, we cannot get you cannot get it any lower. So for example, for your offer, let's say you get $5 leads, and someone's like, oh, you got to get $1 lead, bro. Like it's impossible. Right. So I started and then the one way you can do it is like try to increase LTV. But the problem, kind of what I said, is like we're getting a lot of clients, but not every single client's getting the same results. So you get attrition. And then you get to a point where there's a breaking point. It's like you're not making more revenue. You're just kind of like, okay, we're doing this much. We're doing this much. We're doing this much. So I think certain businesses are built for a certain number. So if you have a gym, for example, you're not going to make more money after you've gotten everyone within 15 miles to come. That's it. Like that is what that gym can do. So moving into portfolio companies, for example, I was like, okay, I need someone who first is a good CEO, because part of the problem with portfolios is like they want me to run the business. I'm like, that's not going to work. Number two is unique offers. So if you look at both my portfolio companies, one is day trade. Think about it. He has a software that trades for them. So think about it. What do people want? Click a button and get rich. So that's technically what that one's offering. So when he runs ads, I'm not kidding. We just had a call right before this yesterday. He spent $25K on ads. He did $300,000.
Crazy.
And I'm a 50% owner. So bro, like I get a fat check every month. And then like we'll scale that to $1 million. The other one is how to get into Ivy League schools. So super competitive. These parents are loaded. So she gets on a call that she's worked in admissions for 20 years. I can't do that. And so her ads work better. So like to your point, what's easier? Selling that or selling consulting? And so I just think there's better things you can sell and people will buy it. Like here's another example. So we brought up Hermosi a few times, a good friend, and their model right now, a lot of people don't know, is he's running these events. Well, part of it is like he has a huge organic following, but check this out. They sell the event for $5K.
Yeah.
Well, think about it. They sell it for $5K and then they upsell a ton. I won't get into the numbers and stuff because, he's asked me not to, but
crazy
big numbers. Yeah. But check this out. When people pay for an event, who usually, hardly anyone complains because they know it's an event. They know what it's about. And then guess what? They leave the event and they're done. There's no coaching. There's no, so there's really, if you think about all the issues with like consulting,
it's consumable.
It's all the coaching. It's like, oh, they didn't message me enough. They didn't do enough calls. So they show up. He's like, here's what you get. Bye. And so what happens is they're getting crazy good feedback and then they're upselling people to more events. It's like, it's a brilliant model, right? Yep. And then on top of that, he's getting all this organic traffic. So they're just printing.
It's a cash cow.
They're just printing.
It's a cash cow. Yeah.
Right. So when I look at like, okay, what's a better model? Running events that way. Like obviously if you have to run ads and stuff, that changes it. But like he's getting all these free leads inbound, running ads, or not running ads, excuse me, barely. And then there's no expectations. And I'm like, dude, that is brilliant. And then on top of that, the best companies, guess what they do? They just bring them in as a portfolio. They take the cash from the event. I mean, bro, it's brilliant. So to answer your question, I just think it wouldn't, at a certain point, I don't think I could break it. And the reason at first, because I'm I'm always blaming myself. So for 2 years, bro, I'm telling you, I did everything you can think of. And then I started having those interviews and I saw Alex Becker leave and Alex Hermosi and I saw Sam Evans and I said, dude, like, it's not you. So, and I think most people are the opposite. They're like, oh, it's not me and it is them. But I had exhausted every possible avenue I thought I could do. And I was like, dude, it's simple. And then when I talked to these people who sold their companies, like there was a guy, Justin Hartfield. He sold his company Weed Maps in 2 years for over $1 billion. Like I think it was like $1.6 billion. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I just built Yelp for weed. And he's like, so then store owners saw it was big and they paid me to basically, I was like, bro, it's just so simple. It's like, and it's like people go there to find weed, they get the weed, it's done. It's just a simple business model, right? So I think the issue in consulting or like like you're helping people build businesses, whatever, is that the results vary no matter what you do. Yeah. Like I have a client right now, dude, they went $0 to $237 a month in 120 days, a brand new business. But they're just like, they work so hard. They, in fact, their accounts got shut down 30 days in, all their ads shut down. They went from 0 to 100K, went all the way back to 0. They've taken out massive lines of credit. Keep in mind, they paid me almost $100,000. So I'm like, and I'm really like, I told them up front, I was like, dude, like, are you guys sure? And they still stuck with it, bounced all the way back to that. Like most people would have quit. Brilliant. So I just think if you can build something or make something that even the dumbest person gets result, like I look at ChatGPT, I'm like, bro, it is brilliant.
Yeah.
I get on there,
Simple
ask it a
product,
question, gives me the best stuff in the world. I'm like, I'll pay, and it's $20 a month. I'm like, I love it. I use it as like my relationship coach.
Yeah.
It's better than a
It's
therapist.
great, bro. Yeah.
It's better than a therapist. So hopefully I answer your question. You could tell I'm excited about it, but I really believe in what I say about that, just because I'm one of the few people who I feel got to, like, that's probably, let's say, top 1% of the industry. There's maybe a couple people who do more than that, but it's very rare. And I just think that's a reason why you don't see billionaires in internet marketing. Like, they're not, they didn't become a billionaire from here. They might have learned skills, but everyone pivots at some point, and I think that's why, in my opinion.
One of the concepts that I'm known for in the industry in crypto, I've kind of coined the term and I've educated the whole marketplace, and it's become a thing now, is the concept of the founder funnel, which is using the founder brand as the primary top of funnel method. Because, you know, as we spoke about, no paid ads, very skeptical audience. How do you overcome these two things? You build a founder brand that is trustable, and you use that to funnel attention into your product. In the portfolios that you're currently taking on, how important would you say is it for these founders not only to be good CEOs, but for them to be good in front of the camera, to know how to make content?
Yeah. So, okay. Great question. The good CEO matters a lot because it's just, they want to work, right? So, because I will tell them what to do. And what I do in my portfolios is I tell them what to do. My team comes in and, like, we'll run the ads, we'll set up the funnels, we'll do those stuff operationally, but they have to push the business, like, be the face. I'm like, I'm not going to do it. So I would say they at least have to be good enough to shoot good ads, good VSLs. When the offer is good enough, though, if they go, let's say, Hormozy route and they blow up their organic, that even better. But if the offer is good enough, dude, the ads will work. Like, I've just seen it. And you got to think, over the years, I've worked with, like, high ticket, probably, oh my gosh, how many? Probably like 3,000 to 5,000 high ticket business owners. And then we've worked with another, like, say, 45,000 low ticket. So I've seen a lot. And as long as, like, they're decent on camera and they have a good offer, they can be worse at sales. They can be worse at messaging. They can be terrible at hiring. I mean, it's like, it's a deficiency mask. Like that. I've seen some people, I'm like, they're working so hard and they just have, like, let's say, a fitness offer and it does okay. Yeah. And then someone else comes in with this offer and they're like, dude, what are they doing? I'm like, dude, to be honest with you, they're actually worse at business than you, but their offer's better than yours. Like, I have a client.
Is this the offer?
Yeah. I have a client, for example, he helps people get green cards. Great guy. He's just a terrible CEO. And he does $150,000 a month organically. And, like, I actually wanted to bring him on as a portfolio, but I just, like, he's just not a good CEO.
What makes a good CEO? And the reason I ask is the following. Last year, the business grew from 20K beginning of the year to 260K in 12 months. So 10x.
That's crazy. Yeah. Good for you.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I mean,
and then, but on top of that, just to stop, like, people will hear, oh, 260K, not 2 million. Dude, it's all about profit. It's all about profit. So if you're doing 80% margin or 60% and someone else is doing, 2 million at 30% is what I did. I took home 600 grand. But some people will be like, they'll do 800 and they do 50%. I'm like, dude, I was doing 3 times more work, but not making that much more type deal. So
100%.
To your credit.
Thank you, man. We're about 50% margins right now for service.
Yeah,
for service. Great. But one of the things that happened is I started the year, I was doing the sales calls. I was key man, definitely every department. Yeah. And then slowly during the year, I started transitioning. And by the end of the year, I was out of sales. I was out of setting. I was out of fulfillment. I was out of everything.
Good.
The only thing I was still doing is content.
Yeah.
But then there came a point where our biggest month, I was the most lost and I was the most miserable.
Really?
Because I didn't know what to do. I was sitting around business. I was like, what the hell do I do now? And I started getting distracted with all these new offers that I wanted to do. I was like, oh, what if we actually do a SaaS now?
Yeah.
And what if we actually try this new product and this has this potential? So my lack of things on my to-do list made me start chasing all these potential dopamine triggers.
Right.
And it took me a good couple, like 2-3 months to actually sit down and actually realize what my new role should be in my business to continue growing the business. But for you, what would you say as the ultimate, let's say the CEO is out of sales, out of fulfillment. What does a CEO really do?
Yeah, I think at that point, you're pushing the brand. So I apologize. I know some people, I'm bringing up the same guy, but everyone knows him. Hermosi, for example, like he doesn't do anything in terms of like, he is the face, he shoots content, he pushes the brand, he has books. That's all he does. That's your job. So if you look at where I'm at now, part of the reason I do these portfolios is like what you said, it's like they're running the offer. I'm not running the offer. So it's like I keep leverage. What I'm really trying to do now at this point is I'm trying to build my brand. Now, obviously, sometimes it takes longer than others. Like I have 30,000 subs on YouTube, but I posted 1,500 videos. So I tell people, I'm like, dude, like it's like 20K, there's 20 subscribers per video. It's pretty trash. But the goal remains the same. It's like if I can grow that brand, let's say hypothetically, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, or whatever, to 1 million subscribers, whatever I'm doing is gonna freaking go up. So I think very few people get there. First off, like most people, I would say once you get to a level where you're completely out, usually like 200 to 300 a month minimum, usually maybe sooner, but most people, to pay setters and sales reps and all that type of stuff, probably 200-300 a month. So at that point, then it's like, okay, what else can I do to the brand? It's like pushing the brand without ads, for example. So, that at that point, that's usually what I have people do. But if you're not doing that and you've grown your business, with paid ads, you're like, oh, I don't want to do that. Then there is nothing to do, kind of. And I think that's where people run into it. So for me, I just look at it as the next challenge because when I look, I knew Alex before he blew up. And, I basically talked to him when he had like,
you guys were in the gym space.
Yeah. Like, yeah. And when, like, it was funny how we met and stuff. I won't get into the whole story, but he had 3,000 subs on YouTube. And then I've seen him go to 3 million. And everything is working better because he gets, think about what's the biggest expense you usually have? Marketing.
Acquisition.
So so if you get free customers, oh my gosh, you'll be a billionaire for sure. So like anything you sell, like Kim Kardashian, like anything she sells will sell because she's Kim Kardashian. She has 1 million followers, right? Yeah. So I think that is the next level for most people. Now, it's easier said than done. The thing that frustrates me a little bit with content is in business, I'm pretty sure, like if you do this, it will work. If you do that, it will work. Content, you think you shot a banger and you think, oh man, that's good. And it doesn't hit. And I've worked with, I would say 7-8 people with content and, like they'll give good advice, but it's, sometimes it doesn't hit or people want you to go really off brand, right? They want me to say, you should have 16 wives and, you shouldn't like take a shower once a week. Like it's just,
that just gets clicks right.
It's not,
views.
But it's not stuff you believe. So it's how can you find viral topics while also being on brand? So one of the videos actually that did really well for me recently is I said, like if you're top 1%, if you make $1 million a year, you're under 10% body fat. And I can't remember. I think I even threw in the height just because, like I'm 6 foot. So like I threw that in there, but when people get upset, like it's on brand for me because I'm like, I'm under 10%. Like I make over $1 million a year. I'm over. So I was like, I'm fine saying it. But I guess going back to your point, that's what I would say most need to do, but they're not doing it. Or they don't want to, they're not willing to put in the time. Cause dude, it's easy to like, one of the reasons I loved ads is like, it's instant gratification. Like you put in the money, you get the money out. But building a brand, unless you blow up really quick, it's hard to stick with it when you're not seeing a lot of results because you're putting, like I put out 3 videos a week. And if you don't get 1,000 views or it gets 1,500 views, you're like, fuck. And you're putting all this time and effort.
And your hour is valuable.
You just have to, I just think it's just, you have to do it. And I think also falling in love with the process. I'm more at this point because I've made enough money, quote unquote. I'm so about just personal development. I just enjoy the process so much. But it took me years to get there because at first my goal was to hit $1 million a month. I hit it. And then 2 days later, I wasn't happy anymore. And that really sucked me down a whole spiral of depression and stuff like that. But finally, when I just realized, okay, like the outcome's not going to matter. Obviously I still have outcomes, but if I can just learn to enjoy it. And I've learned also, I took a 6-month sabbatical, which basically I did nothing for 6 months. Like I didn't feel good. And so when I feel the best is when I get up, I'm on my gym training, my nutrition, I'm on my meetings, like I'm trying to be the best version of myself.
Totally.
And so that also makes it easier because it's like, okay, well, let's say it never blows up. What am I going to do different? It's like nothing. You're going to like, I want to do this no matter what. And that's what keeps you in the game because most people, they're just working to a certain number. And the most successful people I met, like they actually love it. And you don't have to love it. But for me, I actually do. So that's, I think, why I'll stay successful because it's like you're constantly pushing. And last thing I'll say is a lot of people don't make more money because it takes them forever to take a risk. They finally take a risk. They get to 100 grand or 200 grand or whatever the number is. And then they're good. They're like, that's all I want. So they stop doing the thing that made them successful, which is taking a risk, learning, investing.
And do you think they become risk averse because they don't want to lose what they've
They're just
earned?
good. I just think they're good. I think they're just like, yeah, or they get scared because they made more money. But the irony is like, you stop doing the thing that made you successful, and then the economy changes. So, like real estate is something easy for someone to understand. Like you have crashes. And so like you stop, let's say like my business, like Elite CEOs, I went through this, like year 5, I'm 5 years in, everything's worked. I've had no issues. I even look at some of my business career and it's like, I hear stories from other people. I'm like, bro, everything's worked for me pretty much day one. And I stopped kind of learning. I went on a 6-month sabbatical. I came back, things were not doing so good. And you're 6 months behind because like other people out there are constantly learning, innovating. With AI now, it's crazy. So I just think people, they work hard to get to a certain goal and then they stop.
Yeah.
But the irony is like, you can't stop. Like you can, but you risk a lot because business is always evolving. It's a living organism. And I just think most people, they don't really love the game. They just, which is okay. That's fine. I get it. But they just want to get to a certain level and then they want to kind of step off the gas and they think they're going to stay there. And that's not how, it's like your body. It's like if you step off the gas, what happens? You get chubby. So anyways.
There's no maintenance. You don't get your dream body or the dream girl.
Yeah, because even now it's easier to maintain for sure, but you still got to put an effort. You still have to.
You can't pause on the dream body or get the dream girl and then you're like, I'm good. I'm going to invest in it.
Yeah. But great question. I mean, I'm going crazy on that. Okay, so shifting a little bit back to you, you co-founded Unfungible.xyz.
Yep.
So first off, like explain that .xyz. I think that's interesting. And then, what's the real mission behind it? Like what problem are you trying to solve?
Yeah, the XYZ, bro, I think it was just the .com domain wasn't available. And XYZ was it's very crypto native, the XYZ part of it.
Yeah.
I wish there was a deeper story, but the reason I like the name Unfungible is, and we kind of use this as the slogan, which is you've heard on non-fungible tokens, NFTs.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
And non-fungible means can't be replicated. So Unfungible is a play on this. And what I tell my team every single week when we meet, I'm like, guys, this week the intention is to be unfungible, to do the things that make us unique, that makes us different. So it's almost become a slogan. And now anytime I have a client, anytime I meet someone in the industry and I give them a hat or I give them something that has Unfungible on it, I remind them, like, this is a reminder for you to act in a way that makes you unique and different and one-on-one. So I love the name. The second question you had was...
Yeah, it was just what's kind of the mission behind it? And I guess maybe you've talked about that a little, but what's kind of the goal with it, and maybe talk just a little bit more about that.
Yeah, man. The main goal is to pioneer community building.
By using crypto as that vehicle.
Crypto is one of the vehicles.
Okay.
Yeah, because going back to the story with the NFTs that give the ability for people to own digital identity.
Right.
You were part of ClickFunnels.
Of course,
I think like 2 or 3 comma club.
Yeah, I got I got every award.
All the accolades.
Yeah.
I can imagine for you personally, this having the award is a bigger flex for you than having the Lambo, right?
Yeah, I would say now it's not, but definitely at the time, dude. In fact, when I got that first award years back, they were like, "Oh, that's the fitness guy who doesn't coach people."
Yeah,
and that was the why people trusted me. They're like, "Oh, you don't do business coaching," and then obviously it led me into that. But I was like, "Yeah, bro." So I was like, "I'm going to use this as much as I can," because people like really believed in it back then.
100%.
I think they still do, but not as much now. But back then, yeah, definitely.
So that's a big flex. You're belonging to this community. Imagine if you had a way to show that you were a member of that club, very exclusive club, to the rest of the world.
Right.
And that's where tokens like NFTs.
It's people, they get off to it. It's crazy. Like, it's like, it's the same thing with like some people with clothing or Rolexes.
It's always been like that.
I personally don't relate as much. I'm like, bro, it's like, but that's why they buy it.
Of course.
That's why they buy it. 100%.
Of course.
What do you think most crypto bros, we'll call them crypto bros, like are missing when it comes to, real wealth creation?
most crypto bros are trying to go for the very short-term quick money, quick bucks, and it oftentimes ends in ruin. I'll give you the example of my brother. I love my brother to death. You have a brother. You know the brotherly love, bro. Younger brother especially. My guy, man, very ambitious, has big goals. He has his e-commerce brand now in the fitness space. He's doing great, bro. He's crushing it. But one of the things he did last year is he let short-term gains get to his head. And he left his job, took all his savings, took out a credit card loan and put that all in crypto.
Wow.
In meme coins.
Wow. That is very crazy.
And I remember I was with him when this happened. We were in Colombia together. He had just left his job, very exciting new season for him. And I remember the day he came to me and he was like, bro, remember that thing you told me not to do? Well, I did it, bro, and I lost it all. I'm like negative net worth at 24. And I remember seeing him go through that season. It was very difficult for him. And as a brother, it was difficult for me. You know, like you don't want to hear your brother in his room just like, fuck.
Yeah.
And this is the narrative that I try to push, especially for my audience that watches me, that are in crypto. The most common way of trying to make money is to go after the tokens, try to buy the short term and flip the next hour. But that's the odds, like statistically, there are a lot of studies on this. Your odds of winning are higher at the casino than they are in the meme coin, like statistically.
Which is terrible, by the way. Terrible. When I gamble, if like I usually will just be like, okay, $1,000, and then I just like go until it's gone.
You're ready.
I already know it's gonna. I know I'm not gonna win.
Like you're ready to. If you win, great.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's just like you just get a little bit of high. You win a few, you lose a lot, and then you're like, oh, okay, it's only 1,000.
100%. So that's the crypto bros, man. That is the narrative that I try to push. Build something, try something, become a creator, start a business, just sell your service. Become a thought expert in something, and people will want to pay you for your knowledge, especially in crypto, man. So that's that's the narrative that I am trying to push.
So is there any, so you got, I'm not super familiar with all of them, but like, let's say you got Bitcoin and Ethereum, stuff like that. Like, is there certain things that you just are like, hey, these are good, stay away from these? Cause like the meme coins meme coins, it's like very hit or miss. Is there certain ones that you kind of push as like, okay, these are kind of staples and these are the things you should be investing in?
Yeah. So I don't talk a lot about investing. I have an investment portfolio, like every dollar profit that we've made reinvested into crypto. Great decision so far. But there's a risk spectrum with the least risky in the risk category is Bitcoin. Then you have the bigger alts. Usually these are Ethereum, Solana, like the top 10s. They're volatile. You can wake up today and it's like down 20%, but you know this won't go to zero. And then you have on the extreme, you have the super high risk meme coins. And these things, they can go to zero in hours. So that's the spectrum. I've put my money in large caps. It's like the top 10s. That's where I put my money. My money. If you get a 3-4x out of this, super happy.
Yeah. You've made more money, I would say, than, most people can imagine. What would you say, if any, is kind of the dark side of getting rich too young?
I wouldn't say it was rich too young, bro.
Yeah?
I think this is important. I do see it, and especially in our industry, a lot of people get rich way too young. And it ends up fucking up their perception of money and wealth creation. And I actually told my brother, I was like, bro, I'm actually very happy you didn't make money out of this. Because what would have happened is it would have fucked your way of thinking about money. And you would have thought that the only way of doing this, because the brain will always go back to the last time it got the dopamine. So you would have to go back to the casino to try to make it again. Because you haven't developed the skill. You haven't developed the skill of being able to make money long term. Because this, money is a skill. And for me, man, I still remember, it wasn't too long ago, I was sharing a studio bedroom here with my brother in Dubai.
Really? Is he here with you?
He lives here,
That's really cool.
Yeah, he lives here.
How far apart are you guys?
In
like in age, just
2
age.
years. Yeah, 2
you guys
years.
are close. Yeah, it's kind of me and my brothers.
And when he was working at his job, man, he was living in a studio. I remember I was still building Unfungible. I came in and I crashed at his place for a year, living in a studio together. Imagine a single guy that just came out of a relationship, living with his brother for 2 years. And that's a story I post about today.
Yeah.
And I still remember these times because, 2-3 years ago, it wasn't that long ago. Yeah. And I'm honestly glad I went through this, because if not, I personally don't know if you getting too rich too quickly, does it really give you the, I don't know. What do you think? How long did it take you to?
Yeah, I mean, so I didn't make any real money till I was 25, and I was a millionaire by 27. The thing that I think, and I want to say it's like quote unquote too young, but.
And how old are you now?
33.
33. Okay.
So 12 to 27, I just worked. Like as a young kid, I got bullied, and then I started, finding sports and stuff, and I fell in love with that. I want to play American football, so I want to play in the NFL. I got to the level right below it, Division I. Had a bunch of injuries, probably wasn't good enough, stuff like that. And then I started the business, and I pretty much put girls and stuff on the back burner for years. I mean, like by 27, like I barely partied, barely seen the world, barely dated. Like, I mean, bro, it wasn't because I couldn't. I just literally, I remember thinking,
locked in.
This girl probably won't be my wife. Got to drive to her 30 minutes, drive back 30 minutes, going to be 2 to 4 hours, pay for dinner. Like, I just didn't care.
Yeah.
And so I usually would just, say, hey, like, if you want to come over, cool. If you don't, that's fine. And that was the extent. So the only bad thing I think for me is, like, just quite honestly, is because I kind of hadn't gone through that. I don't know if this is it, right? Because sometimes, like, you can speculate all you want, but because I hadn't, like, dated a lot of girls, and I hadn't had, like, let's say, college experiences and all these things, when I got to 27, I felt, kind of getting at the age people are like, yeah, grow up, settle down, stuff like that. And I feel like I really pushed against that, because I was like, bro, like, I worked my ass off to get here, and I'm a multimillionaire, and you guys want me to grow up. Like, I don't, like, screw that. So the only reason I think it kind of created a little bit of an issue for me is I met a girl that was really special, and, like, she wants to settle down, and I'm kind of like, I want to settle down with her, but I also, like, kind of want to have my fun. So I think that would be the only bad thing, but I don't even think that's because I, got rich, quote unquote, too young. I just think it was because I was so driven that, I think, and, like, as you get older, you realize it's not bad to have fun, but I think you realize at a certain age, it's like, okay, that's not it. Like just doing a bunch of, like, hooking up with a bunch of chicks, or just doing a bunch of stupid stuff, or partying. It's like, it can be fun, but if that's, like, what you're trying to go for fulfillment, it's empty.
How is it trying to find a partner at this stage of success?
Yeah. Well, at the time I'm shooting this, I don't think she'll hear this, but I'm trying to fix things with, my girl. She knows who she is, but I would say, she kind of found me right when I was on the come up. And she's kind of been
special.
She'd been through a lot with me. So I would say, I think that's part of me. Like, if we have a problem or something, like, I just feel like a lot of loyalty and love towards her because of that.
Yeah.
I think it's easy. I mean, it's easy to find girls, right? But, I'm very intellectual. And so what I've realized for me is, different psychologists I've talked to, like, one of the things they've said that I liked is, like, Tanner, you want too much from a girl. It's like, you get 2 or 3 things, dude. So what 2, 3 things you want? And for me, number one, I found is just intellectual. Like, I need some stimulation, and I feel a lot of women, not all, obviously, like, but just a lot of women, and they got to be beautiful. So that's a hard combo.
You got 2.
Yeah, that's a hard combo. So it's like, got to be really beautiful. I'd probably say, like, beautiful, loyal, and intelligent is like my 3, right? And so, that limits a lot in the sense of, I'll talk to her, what are you doing? Oh, nothing really. What do you want to do? I just want to kind of, like, do nothing, and I'm just, like, already out. So it's easy to find women, but it's probably the same thing for them. It's, like, easy to find women, but, like, quality, that's very debatable. That's very debatable, right?
But then how? It's very interesting, because I just had a conversation with my girl about this. Man, as entrepreneurs, we want it all.
Yeah, of course.
And we've worked to get it all.
Yeah.
Growing up, would you have thought you'd be worth 7-8 figures maybe? Yeah. So we want it all. And I personally found myself sometimes with in my relationships, I'm like, beautiful, loving. It feels like home.
Yeah.
But then I want this and I want that, and then I want that thing as well, and then I want her to be younger. And like, how do you control that urge that got us to where we are?
Well, so part of it is like I think I'm getting to the end of that journey. Like I haven't, and that's kind of why I've had a couple issues. Nobody's perfect, but I think like I've caused a lot of my own issues. You know, like with my girl, and right now she's ex because I've had issues. I think Hermosi said this to me, and he just said, bro, he said this one day, and he said, honestly, bro, if I had 3 different wives, meaning like it could be 3 other people, I'd probably be about the same level of happiness. And he's like, the thing is, we always want what we can't have. So he's like, if a girl's really like, let's say a girl helps you with your business, she may not be as feminine. She's really feminine. She might not help you with your business. She's short. She can't be tall. She's, big butt. She can't, So I think his point was like, dude, like you can't like have literally everything. Right. And, I think part of that conversation, it took me down. I think that really took me down a path of like, oh, is there a way to kind of maybe have some form of open, right? Or whatever, right? However that looks like, there's a lot of different forms, but at least my experience, like I haven't done that per se, but I've kind of like talked to girls about it and explored it. Like, I just don't know if that's it, because they don't like it.
Yep.
Like they tolerate it. And if you really love your girl, her tolerating something you do is not a very good feeling, in my opinion. And it's almost like you don't want that, because it's like, she doesn't even like me doing this, but she tolerates it because she's getting money or whatever. And like, so I look at like an Andrew Tate situation where he takes it pretty extreme. So just for anyone listening, I'm not saying I would even consider that, but he's got, I don't know how many wives, and he's got a lot of kids, and that's fine if that's what he wants to do. But I just look like there just can't be a lot of intimacy, because, and to me, that's what I really crave. And that's what I really like about relationships, is like when someone can like really see you and you can see them, and like you're going through life together and you have that closeness. Like, I don't think anything beats that. Yeah. So yeah, to answer your question, dude, it's been a little bit of a journey for me. And I think sometimes as well, like you have to be a little bit careful what you share, because it's very personal. And, when I talk to like wealthy guys and I'm like, hey, what's the real deal with your relationship? It's very private, and, people don't always want to share. But I think for me, that's the only thing that's ever held me back. Like I've really always craved having a intimate relationship, but there's part of me that's like, I can never have a cheat meal again, so to speak. Right. Yeah. And like, cause you could like with food, I can have a pizza on Saturday. I'll still be shredded. Right. Yep. It's like, I don't do it very often, but there's not a lot of ways where it's like, hey, I have a wife, and then I can also like couple times a year hook up or whatever. Yeah, and not in like an honorable way, or not in a way where they won't get hurt type deal. At least from what I've seen. And then you also have to decide like how deep down that path you want to go. Cause I am a big believer. Probably part of my issue is like, I'm always thinking like, don't be a little bee. Cause it's like, if you want it, go get it. But then you start thinking, how far down that path are you willing to go to try to find it? So like, say hypothetically, you want to find a girl who is really beautiful, really intelligent, loves you, and she's also okay with like whatever on the side or something. Yeah. Like how far down, like you might lose out on good girls that are not okay with it. And then you might like, who knows? That
one thing.
Right. And so that's been a lot of my thought process, at least, like just being transparent.
Yeah. How important is it for you, for your girl to be with you when it comes to business?
Dude, that's a great question. I think it was very important until recently. The girl I was talking about with you, like when I met her, she had her own business, and she was doing, I think, take home, like, so actual profit. She was doing more revenue, but like she's making like $300,000 a year. Okay. And that's why it attracted me to her, because I met her. I was like, man, this girl's in great shape. She's driven. She's still very feminine, right? Probably I would say 2 years ago that shifted, meaning she got very, she went from like, yeah, I don't know if I want kids or care. And then it was like kids. And she really wants to kind of, more be a homemaker, peacemaker. And I think for a while that like kind of bothered me. I was like, yeah, I don't know. We're not like growing together and stuff like that. I think I had a shift, like kind of like what Alex said. I had a shift that way. And he's like, dude, whether she has a business with you or doesn't, or stays home, he's like, dude, you be about the same level of happiness, I think. So I think,
interesting.
I think for me, it's more they're growth oriented. It doesn't have to be the same thing, but I like people who want to grow. And so if I feel like you're not growing, I just like lose a lot of interest.
Totally.
Yeah. So I don't know if she needs to be in the business. And to be frank, I've pretty much gotten to this point. You know, one of the psychologists I talked to, he said, hey, dude, if you're a billionaire, you're not going to look for a girl to be your business partner. And he also said, if there's something a guy can do, have a guy do it and not the girl. I thought that was good advice. He's like, if you need a business partner, find a dude, bro. He's like, don't have your girl do it. If he's like, if you want to have a basketball buddy, find a dude.
Interesting.
I thought that was a good perspective, because he's like, he's like, every time you say and he's like, you're just narrowing the pool. And it's the same thing with these girls. They're like, I want a 6 foot guy who makes $1 million. And like, we all laugh at them. We're like, dude, they don't exist.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would just say it's more growth oriented. Like, if she wants to grow, and it doesn't even have to be the same things. Like, let's say she's like, she really wants to be a mom and she really wants to be the best mom. And like, I just think you, as a man, you got to be, I'm not saying you got to be okay with it. You can get whatever you want, but I think it makes sense because, like, to be frank, if you can get it from another source, that was a perspective shift for me. It's like, dude, can you get this from a guy? Yes. Okay. It's like, then why are you like trying to make, why are you trying to make your girl do that? And on top of that, it is different energies. Like, women in business, I do see they struggle with that sometimes, because like they'll be very masculine in business, which is normal, and then it's very hard for them to be feminine, or they kind of struggle with that.
Switch.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, and again, I don't think I'm right. I think that's one of the things that makes me like more intelligent or smarter. Like, is I try to be very open-minded. But yeah, that was something I had to confront as well, because you know, people. I don't think I've ever been with someone who also changed over time, and I remember when that was happening, I was like, man, this has got to be why people like get divorced, because the person you met 5 years, people, we all change. So like who you were 5 years ago is not who you'll be in 5 years.
Totally.
You know? So anyways, that's my perspective, at least. I don't know if it's correct.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. Going back to you, what would you say, like, something that is like keeps you grounded? Right? Like, I guess when I say grounded, just kind of going off the rails, or like getting too big of an ego, or, you know, doing something stupid. Like, is there anything you do, and maybe there's not, but is there anything you kind of do that like kind of keeps you grounded, where you don't get like too big of an ego or do anything crazy?
Yeah. I think that's where the upbringing comes in. I remember the first time I had my first 6-figure month, I called my dad. About it, and I was like, this was a great month for me in business. And I remember his reaction. He didn't ask me, what did you do? He didn't ask me, how much did you make? He just asked me, are you happy?
Interesting.
That's all he asked me.
So interesting.
My dad has no idea how much revenue I make. He's never asked me.
Yeah. He's
never asked me. He tells me, as long as you're happy and as long as you stay to earth.
Interesting.
To stay down to earth. And this is always something that I think about, especially, you know, there's these moments where you have like a viral video or a viral hit, and then you feel like you're at the top of the industry.
Right.
And these are the moments that I try to, you know, remind myself, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It generally doesn't matter, you know. And then when I go back and visit my family, my parents, super humble guys. Like, these guys, they want to retire in a country house, grow their own tomatoes and cucumbers. And I'm like, man, you know, like, I'm trying to make all that money to support them, but what are they going to do with that money?
Yeah.
Like, well,
I think it's a good perspective. That helps me in hard times as well, is just remembering, like, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
Right. And so that's helpful, because if you're really struggling, I think that thought can help a lot sometimes when, you know, things are going really well. Like, oh, I'm this, I'm that. And it's a good reminder, like, it doesn't really matter either way.
Yeah.
And so that kind of takes me back to, like, what do I just like to do, and what do I enjoy? And for me, I personally I like doing difficult things, because that's when I feel my best. I sometimes, like, I kind of hate it, like, because, you know, like, I'm always pushing, and sometimes I'm like, man, I just wish I liked relaxing more. But I find I enjoy relaxing more when I have pushed.
100%.
You know,
it's
like,
earned.
It feels good, because like anything, I mean, you buy something, 6 months later it's old. So if you're occasionally doing something, it's way more enjoyable than if you're doing it every single day. At least the way I see it.
I have a great story for you that I try to remind myself when it comes to hard times and good times. There was this king who asked the best ring maker in town, the old time ago, asked his best ring maker in town, summoned him, and asked him to make a ring for him. Then when he looks at the ring, it'll make him, if he's happy, it'll make him sad. And if he's sad, it'll make him happy. And then he told the ring maker, I would like you to present that to me the day of the annual festival. So the ring maker goes and tours the world trying to find the best ring that will make the king sad when he's happy and happy.
Why
when
does
he's
the king
sad.
want that? Is that going to come to the end? Okay.
That's the story.
Okay.
So comes the day of the festival. Hundreds of people, the king is drinking, music, incredibly happy. And then the ring maker presents the ring to the king. And then the king looks at it and he reads the inside. And then suddenly his face goes from happy to sad. Inside the ring, it was written, "This too shall pass."
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yeah, because like if
this too shall pass.
Both, and no matter good and bad, they both pass.
This too shall pass.
Wow.
Yeah, and I remember just yesterday, I was thinking about it before sleeping because I was like, a couple client fires.
That's such a good, that because like if it's good, it's gonna pass. If it's bad, it's gonna pass.
This too shall pass.
Oh, I never thought of it that way before. Because usually I think of it from like the negative context, like you're going through a hard time. It's like this too shall pass. Like okay,
yeah.
Like I'll get
even the happy times.
The happy times do too. In fact, it's funny you said that. Recently to my team, I've been saying this is probably, as long as I can remember, maybe in like 2 years, a year and a half, like this is probably the best I've felt like in general. And so I just been saying, dude, like I'll be saying at the end of the calls, I'm like, guys, like stuff is so good right now. Like I'm enjoying it so much. Appreciate you guys. Because like sometimes when you're going through the shit, I mean, it's terrible. And so, but I said, I know it's not going to last forever. So I'm just enjoying it right now. Because when things get good, it won't stay good forever.
Yeah.
And so right now it's been funny. I'm just enjoying it being good and just knowing like, because I've been through good, I've been through bad, been through good, been through bad. So you just know it's not going to last, like you said.
Yeah.
So I'm just enjoying it.
I'm
trying to. I'm curious, like talking a little bit about switching gears, like morality and so forth. What's kind of your philosophy on like God, morality, meaning, or like are you still figuring that out?
I'm still figuring it out. Yeah. So I'm Christian, born and raised Christian. Okay. I think one of the beautiful things of my upbringing is I was born in a mixed family. So my dad is Christian and my mom is Muslim. None of the two are religious at all, but their parents are.
Gotcha.
So I remember I would go spend Christmas, and then 2 months after I would go visit my grandmother on my mother's side, and it would be like Ramadan. So I got exposed to the two religions.
That's crazy, actually.
It's I don't think a lot of people have.
No, like Christianity and Islam.
So the exposure that I've had, I think, played a big role in just like my acceptance when it comes to the world religion, and I think it's still something I'm trying to figure out. I know one day there will come a day where I will want to invest more in my spirituality, but I think right now, man, I'm too consumed by the necessity to continue succeeding.
Yeah, my dad was a pastor, so it was very strict growing up. Yeah, I don't know where I'm going to end up. The thing that's made me good, I think, in business is like I'm very analytical, very logical. 2 + 2 is 4, etc. Yep. When it comes to religion, a lot of times, there comes a point, no matter who is talking about what, it's like, okay, but like, can you prove it?
Yep.
And some people will say, "Oh yeah, of course." Like it says, but dude, that's not really, in my opinion. I'm like, that doesn't really prove anything. So, it's been an interesting journey for me. Like I say, I'm still on that journey too. But yeah, I mean, I just know growing up, like it was super strict and like we would do certain things. And then like, as I got older, I would ask, 10 different pastors about a verse or something. And they said 10 different things. I'm like, bro, like, this is crazy. Like none of you guys, like, I don't hear any similarities. And, then I think even take a step further, I started looking at, okay, I think I looked this up, 4 billion people believe in Islam. There's 8 billion people on earth. And then, this is something that I've thought about. So to each their own belief, like not talking bad about anyone, but like I'd say most Christian religions, not all, but most Christian religions will say, hey, if you don't believe in God, Jesus Christ, like you're going to go to hell. And like, for me, I just go, I don't know, dude, 4 billion people. And that's just right now. That's not even like all time. I'm like 4 billion people are going to go to hell because they don't quote unquote believe in Jesus Christ. Like stuff like that has always been very thought provoking for me.
You spoke with Dan Henry, I think Monday, and you guys spoke about religion. Yeah. Why did he convert, for example?
He didn't go too much into it. Like, he really didn't go too much into it. And I think he just said, it doesn't matter. Like he kind of took the stance, like, it doesn't matter what I say, people are going to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah.
I think my personal perspective from what I know about him is
just 1 or 2 wives.
Nah, maybe like you never know. Like, but yeah, like when you see that, you're like, yeah, I get it. It looks to me like from a joking perspective, it seems like that's the only container you could do it, because like if you're using religion as like, hey, religiously this is okay, I think that makes it a little safer for the women. So I could see why that works. Versus like, hey, I'm doing this to do it. But from my perspective, I believe, I mean, this is as far as I know. So, excuse me if I say it incorrectly, but he had a Muslim wife. They got a divorce. He started kind of just doing whatever, probably a million girls, kind of saw that was empty. He got back with her, which I thought, anytime someone gets divorced and gets remarried, that's crazy. Man. Remarried her, then came to Dubai, converted to Islam at some point. No, he has a second wife, but, I think he more just got pushed to like, hey, this is not the path this is. So I can't, I don't know how much Islam played into that. But for me, just being in Dubai for a short time, like I joke to my parents because they're Mormon. I say, this is Mormon Miami. Because like Islam, to be honest, like it's actually very similar values to a lot of Christian religions. It's just in the United States, it's not, I don't know if it's like upheld as much. Even here, it's not like over the top. It's just, I feel like people here, it's taken a little bit more seriously, and there's like certain things you can't do in certain places, et cetera. Yeah. So I don't know for him, like how much that played into it or like what was the catalyst, but I definitely think he kind of went down that like hedonistic path and then realized that wasn't it. I think the thing for me, going back to what I said before, is I've never thought full on hedonism is the way, but it's enjoyable sometimes. Right. And that's been my thing is like, like with women, I'll be like, oh, like I can never have a pizza again. Right. It's like, but it's 0 or 100. But like with cheap food, I can still have a pizza, and I know that sounds kind of maybe petty, but that's how I've always thought of it. It's like, I've never wanted to like go full on all the time. I'm like, just here or there. But I just think maturity wise, I'm sure it exists, but I don't know how many women out there would actually be okay with that. Like
good women.
Right. They'll tolerate it. They'll tolerate it, or they don't care about you maybe. Yeah. But like, that's been the thing I think in my head, because in business, I'm like, don't be a fat pussy, don't be a little bitch. Like, yeah. But the reality is like, I think I've talked to women, and I'll get here's kind of what I'll get is, yeah, like I get it. I understand. Like I'm open to it, whatever. But that doesn't mean they like it. That means like at best they'll tolerate. So I think that's the word I've seen is like it's tolerate. And for me, the one thing I've just been proud of is like it's I get like the thinking's a little out there, like it's not common, but I also feel like I'm just honest, and I feel like a lot of guys. Some guys I meet and they're like, bro, like, I'm a one-man woman, and like I've never thought about it, and like I'm like, great, that's awesome for you. But I would say it's easier said than done when you're super successful, right? Yeah. You're super successful, you're somewhat good looking, you're pretty tall, like yeah. So I think it takes a lot more willpower, discipline, patience, whatever you want to say, to turn down like a girl who's throwing them at you versus a guy who's 4 foot, chubby, and he's like, oh yeah, I don't do that. It's like, dude, like they don't want you.
That is true. Yeah,
that's at least my take.
That is true, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, we're still growing, but I think as of now, like I think I'll be a one man guy or one definitely not that one woman guy. One man guy, we're not gonna do that, but yeah, one woman guy, because I just.
But you gotta say, man, though, the Andrew Tate narrative is appealing.
Well, it's appealing because that's like what every guy wants.
It's
most
appealing.
guys, but it's.
But then you look at someone like Patrick Bet-David on the other side.
And he's opposite, yeah. And like
opposite.
if you look at and like Patrick Bet-David, I'm not like, I would say like I'm not the hugest fan from the standpoint of like business wise. Like I'm just like, yeah, he, you know, he's done great things, but you know, I gotta look at Alex and I'm like way more impressed. But like I've tried to look around this. Usually things that you're proud of, they're difficult, right? So like getting in shape, you're proud of that because it's difficult. Building a business, you're proud of that. It's difficult.
Yeah.
I'm assuming it makes sense. Like marriage would be the same thing. So it's difficult because as a man, you're hardwired, or most men, like, because I don't want to speak for all guys, but you want to hook up with a bunch of girls, and girls are good looking and we're very physical. But I don't think, unless like the only way I could see you do it is like if you're with one girl and you genuinely could figure out a way where she was okay to like, you know, you doing stuff together or something like that. But like even Tate's model, I'm just like, he's not into, he can't be intimate with 20 girls, bro.
Yeah.
He even says it. He's like, your job, you make kids, I pay for your stuff, leave me alone.
Yeah.
And like, I don't get the kid argument. Like, you know, some guys are like, I want to have 80
and living
kids
with his brother as well.
Right. I don't, and that teach their own. I just look at it like on a long enough timeline, like no one's gonna remember you. Like Genghis Khan, it's not like, oh, you're Genghis Khan's like son. So I don't really get that argument. I get it if that's your thing, but like you take the kid argument out of it. It's like, do you really want to be with 20 different girls and barely have a relationship? And then the headaches that come with, because it's a headache, bro. And I just, from what I've seen, what I've read, I don't know everything, but I just don't think if a girl's like, hey, what would you rather have? A guy who's fully committed to you only, or a guy who you share? I don't think any girl's like, oh, 100% a guy I would share. Yeah. Maybe, like being honest, like maybe if the girl's bisexual or something, she'd be okay with that. But then you don't know what can of worms that could open, because then it's like, okay, now your girl could technically cheat on you with a girl.
Is it actually hard? You see all these podcasts and all these people talking about dating in Miami. Is it actually on the grounds that weird of a landscape?
So I haven't really done it, ironically, because, you know, my ex right now that like I've been on and off with, and I hope I end up with her. She's amazing, but she's not from there. Okay. So we moved there. So like, to be honest, I think it's every big city though. Like people talk about Miami, but it's like every big city, the girl, like there's a lot of money. And so girls' expectations go up. And then there's guys who make it worse because they are doing that. Right. Yeah. So like, I mean, a girl would be like, hey, like, if you want to go on a date with me, I need a Chanel bag. I'm like, what dumbass gave you a Chanel bag?
Some guy will.
Yeah. And they're idiot. And I'm just like, bro, like I personally just don't get it, because I'm like, I just don't see any benefits.
Dubai's like that too.
Right. Yeah. So even Dubai.
There's a market.
Right. So I just think any big city, New York, LA, Miami, Dubai, et cetera, it's going to happen. But like any place, you find what you're looking for. So like you can, I'm sure there's good girls there. But yeah, is it harder? Sure, because the expectations are crazy.
Yep.
Right. And then, you know, like in Miami, I can't speak to Dubai, but you get a lot of Latina culture.
Yep.
And a lot of Latina culture for the women is like, they're supposed to look beautiful and find a rich guy to take care of them. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just the culture. So, you know, that culture comes up to Miami. Yeah. That's what people are expecting. But yeah, I mean, it can make it makes it harder for, I would say, a guy like me to try to find a girl who's like intellectual. Like they're out there for sure. But I would say on average, that's not the average girl, right? Just like the average guy is not a multimillionaire. So, you know, I never think it's as good or as bad as people say. Like,
Absolutely.
You know, people are like, oh, everything here sucks. It's like, well, like, why are you here then?
Yeah.
Or like, where are you going per se? I don't know.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Dubai is a difficult market as well. If you're, it's easy to get scammed in Dubai.
How so?
In Dubai, it's easy to get scammed in every way possible. But I remember this story with this Uber guy. He told me one day he was on the dating apps and he matched with this girl. And the girl proposed them to go to this restaurant that she's been wanting to try and been wanting to go to. So they go on the date and the bill comes out to be like $2,000. The guy's like, I'm not going to pay for this. Like, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck did you order? And
he didn't know what she was ordering? Or
I don't know. And even on the date, like, how are you going to know? She probably ordered this special whiskey. And it turns out that the girl works with the restaurant, and she makes a commission out of the restaurant. So that's what she does for a living. And she's Latina, funny enough.
That's actually
she's Colombian.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Dubai, bro. Dubai it's a difficult market to.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that stuff, but I just think any place that has money, I'm assuming this is part of it. And the irony is the guys, we create the issue.
Yeah.
Because if guys would say no and they held together, girls would not do this.
Exactly.
But there's always a guy who, for some reason, like, and here's a part, if you're religious, okay, but like, here's the part I don't get. Guys will pay $2,000 or $3,000, let's say, for a Chanel bag, or $2,000 to $3,000, like you said, for the dinner. I'm like, bro, you can get an escort for cheaper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so just do that. Yeah. And like in their head, they're like, no, I like this. I'm like, she doesn't like you though. So that's a part for me. I don't know if it's just because of my experience with dating or just how I was raised or whatever, but I just sit there and go, dude, like, it literally makes no sense what you're doing.
But dude, free sex is always the most expensive sex.
Yeah. Like it just makes no sense to me, because I just look at it and go, dude, like, you can pay a girl to like you more than this girl does, and you'll get something out of it. This girl, some of these girls, I'm like, they're not going to do anything with you.
Yeah.
So I personally don't get it, but yeah, guys ruin it basically.
And I think because most guys haven't learned game, they haven't learned how to get out there. They don't know how to attract.
Oh yeah.
So the only way they do so is by going to the clubs and paying for the bottle service, and
which, like, you're not usually gonna find your wife there.
No, of course not.
You're just not.
No.
Yeah, and it's very interesting to me, but
and you see this in Dubai. It's very weird. I'm sorry to cut you there. If you're here during winter time, beautiful weather. The beach club culture is very big here, but you see weird things, bro. Like, you see this group of girls that are sitting there, and then there's this guy that is just sending them bottle service. I remember I was sitting there with my girlfriend, and these girls were getting like meals and drinks and all that stuff, and then they get up and they leave. And the guy that was sending the drinks, he was just sitting there, like, no phone exchange, nothing. So I look at him, I'm like, what pleasure does this guy derive by doing this?
Funny story is I traveled to Greece. It was a couple of years ago when I was single, and like, I see a cute girl, I talk to him, whatever. This girl is hanging out with me the whole night, right? The whole night. She's great. It's great.
Yeah.
Whatever. And we're at I think it was Scorpios or whatever, which is a club there. Anyways, so hanging out the whole night, and then right before the night ends, like, she leaves. I was kind of like, where'd she go? So, like, I'm kind of texting her. She texted me back 1,000. That's what she, like, I said this thing. I was like, where'd you go?
So weird.
But I literally was like, so you guys hung out with me the whole night hoping that you leave, and then I'm gonna pay you to basically come back to my place or something. And then ironically, they were from Dubai, which is fine. Like, whatever. It's not like Dubai's the only place that has it, but I just was sitting there going, I can't believe this actually works.
Yeah.
Like, I was sitting there going,
yeah,
I'm not gonna, like, I'm young, I'm in shape, I'm like rich, like, go be with the old guy then. Like, I just personally have never understood that with guys. Maybe like I could understand it, like, if you're just desperate or you're busy and you're just like, but I don't know, the whole thing with the girls, like with the game, I'm like, bro, I guess I'm just so efficient. If I was that desperate, I just would rather, like, I would just pay for it up front versus like go on these 2-3 hour trips and stuff.
Yeah.
And that kind of what you said is what happened, because they were hanging out with us, and so obviously they're at our table and stuff like that, and then they leave. And I think that's why, because, I don't know what happened in that situation you were describing, but they're like, yeah, like, you want to hang out this morning? I feel like it'd be easier for them to just make money than actually do that, but who knows? Yeah. Who knows? Okay, so to wrap this up, let's do like a quick lightning round. You can go as deep into the questions you want, but I got 5 quick lightning round questions. Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana, which would you pick?
Ethereum.
Okay.
Ethereum.
Best investment under 10,000 that you've made?
Pengu.
Oh, interesting.
Pengu.
What is that?
Yeah, Pengu. Pengu is huge e-com guy. Luke Hanetz. He's been in the game for a decade now. And he bought this company called Pudgy Penguins. It was an abandoned NFT project. Yeah. And then he turned that into becoming the biggest, most popular mass market crypto brand. So I'm sure 100% on either Instagram, WhatsApp. One of the girls you're texting has sent you one of these penguin gifs, these cute penguin gifs. So they've proliferated a brand. They're the first crypto native IP brand.
Interesting.
Global. They have a token, and I remember buying some of that, and then in the last 30 days it 5x'd.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, only in crypto, man.
What's your only in crypto. What's your most overhyped narrative in Web3?
I would say gaming, crypto gaming. So that's 100% the most overhyped narrative in crypto is crypto gaming.
Yeah, I've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah.
What's one quote that lives in your head, if any?
This too shall pass.
Yeah, that was a great story, by the way. And then finally, like, what's one non-negotiable truth or lesson every listener should walk away with from you?
As you grow in influence, you're going to be presented with more opportunities to make money. Mm-hmm. Always stay clear from the ones that could potentially jeopardize your reputation. Mm-hmm. Always.
Yeah. Good advice. Bro, this went places I didn't even know it was going to go, to be quite honest with you. I enjoyed it. Yeah. If people want to find you or work with you, get to know more about you, like, what's the best place for them to go?
Leon Aboud.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, well, best place.
Pleasure talking to you, and like, I hope everything goes well, and excited to see where you go.
My man.
All right, bro.